First and foremost, I am extremely grateful for you all joining us today. I, Antwan Williams, represent a large healthcare ecosystem that is the Advancement League. Many of you are members, some of you have not officially joined yet, but we consider you friends and partners of the Advancement League. Today, we will be talking about primarily career impact and happiness. As you all know, the Advancement League is built on the foundation of career impact, happiness, and community impact. So as we prepare for multiple events, the resources and guides that we offer for free to our members and at an affordable rate to all others, I think it's important to have these live conversations for those of you that are here today, and for those of you who aren't here, welcome, regardless if you're seeing this live or afterwards. So today, career impact and happiness. Let's go. So really, if you're here today, it's for a plethora of reasons. So many of today's conversation will revolve around three themes as we talk about career impact and, even more importantly, happiness. So this one's for you if you are here, and I think we all can attest to this, around the realms of professional development. Maybe it's securing a bigger bag, and by bag we mean a larger salary, funding if you're a founder, a bigger job, more responsibility. If you're looking to make an impact, not only in your role, but outside of your role, across the organization or beyond that, globally, nationally, or in the community. And how are you seeking sponsors, genuine sponsors, folks that will answer the call when you pick up the phone, mentors, etc., etc. Entrepreneurship and startups. We have been fortunate to have members that represent traditional healthcare as well as entrepreneurship and startups. So what is the startup world? Is it for you? And if it is, how do you succeed? And lastly, life and belonging. There's so many hidden gems that we talk about to our members through guides and resources. And just a reminder that it is okay to make your career about you and your community. There's such thing as being selfish, but it's important here and there to be selfless as it relates to your career, your happiness, because we know that that transfers energy to other components of your life. So what you'll learn today is where to start, unique perspective and how to get started, basic steps to join or start your own. The career guide that we will have available at a discount for you, we talk about starting, planning, and funding in depth. And lastly, as we think about life, those guiding principles, reminders to live by. And as noted, as an added bonus, if you stay until the end, you will get a nice deal off resources and more. And our career impact happiness guide and a little treat for you. So without further ado, my name, Antwan. I always go as Antwan, but I also go as AD. If you look up my books, I wrote a children's book recently around financial literacy, and we have another one coming out soon. Husband, son, brother, oldest of 10. Currently serving as a vice president for Wyandotte Hospital within the Henry Ford Health System, and so fortunate to be one of the co-founders of the Advancement League. A little bit about my background. I've, like many of you, been an intern, did an administrative fellowship at Geisinger, and also served in a couple leadership roles there. I left Geisinger as a director of emergency medicine and joined Orlando Health, supporting our Women's and Children's Hospital, Winnie Palmer Hospital for women and babies, and Arnold Palmer Hospital for children. Learned a ton there and decided, you know what, it's a little too hot in Florida. It's time to take my talent somewhere else. And I ended up in Detroit. So currently with Henry Ford, as mentioned, in Detroit. And it's warming up now. So it's starting to make me smile a little larger. When I think about that time as an intern, you know, really I had no idea what I was missing. And I would even say for multiple years while at Geisinger, things like what to ask for and how to impact. You know, no one, was telling me specifically with the career. We knew globally that you can be anything, etc. But a reminder that the sky is the limit and you are more than your day job. There are a ton of other people doing great work as we see every day on LinkedIn and social media. But more importantly, what to ask for. Going to the right, how vast the industry is. Every year for decades, including myself that first year, I thought that the only conference that existed and that Geisinger would pay for was ACHE. And I quickly learned through my co-founder that if you're willing to ask the questions, step outside of your comfort zone, the sky's the limit. Alex, asked a traditional hospital CEO who's amazing, could he go to South by Southwest? And that opened up Pandora's box, and partly why we're here today as co-founders of the Advancement League, to give others that same outside of the industry, outside way of thinking to help us progress and put health over everything. On that same note, standard thinking, there is multiple paths to the top and more than one way to get there. And just again, as I mentioned, large ecosystem that grows every day. So many people with stories to share, true connections, mentors, colleagues, all of these things revolve around the ecosystem that we've built. And we have so many stories to tell. Hopefully you will stick around to hear them. Speaking of those stories, myself here, co-founder Alex, and Dr. David Feinberg, who has really been a leader, a thought leader in healthcare, was at Geisinger when we actually served as fellows. So while many folks think we're super important, we just really happen to be in the right place at the right time. His words really rung home for us, emphasis on community. Stories like your zip code is more important than your genetic code or your medical record number, and challenging us as up and coming leaders to figure out how to close hospitals, making folks so healthy that we close hospitals. So he's a friend. He's someone that will probably be at our future events. You may hear some of his stories in our career guides, and we consider him a partner and a member of the Advancement League. So traditional healthcare leadership role, I'd like to think that I'm committed to community. As I mentioned, the ecosystem is vast. As of now, since the time at Geisinger, we've given $100,000 more directly to communities in 6 or 7 different cities. And we host events for hundreds and coming up on thousands every year at our Young Health Leaders Summit. So again, myself, Dr. Feinberg, and some guy in a flower shirt in the middle. So as noted, today I am going to cover the essentials of career happiness and more, and really give an overview of the impact guide that dives into each of these a little bit deeper. So as a summary, where to start, basic steps to start or fund your own, and some guiding principles. So to start, where to start? And this is extremely cliche, but bear with me. And please do pull out a pen and paper and let this serve as a reminder to start with you. As you are handed opportunities, responsibilities, regardless of where you are in your career or as a student, you have to remember to take the time to figure out what it is you want. And that may be a moving target. It may change, but this subtle reminder will save you a lot of angst, a lot of anxiety, a lot of wasted time when you really map out what it is that makes you happy, what projects bring you joy, what service lines bring you joy, what opportunities, what challenges bring you joy, and vice versa. On that note, what makes you unique? So again, with that pen and paper, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I enjoy this, and I do this really well. Right now, ask yourself what it is that you are the best at. And if you don't feel like you're the best at anything, manifest it. What do you want to be known for when you leave your current job, when you leave school, start a fellowship, when you go start your own company? Really take some time right here and manifest this. And these are exercises that we're going to really depth in the guide, but again, take some time today to think about that. And then lastly, emphasize impact. I want to have an impact in what area, what department, what region, what market, instead of I want to be a CEO. Many of us, when we were asked that question in grad school or in our programs, we say, oh, I want to be a vice president, or I want to be a CEO. Prioritize and emphasize impact. Take some time there. Prioritize, emphasize impact. It's one of the things that we have thrived on, and that is really giving folks an inside look at what their potential purpose is through community impact and that revolving circle around impact. So for the entrepreneurs, the side hustlers, and all those in between, here's some basic steps to join or start your own. And without the steps that we touch on in the guide, you will be stuck doing something you hate. We've talked to individuals, we won't quote their age, but that have been leading multiple roles, didn't find out until they attended one of our events that, you know what I've been doing doesn't bring me joy. It pays the bills. But all of this built up anxiety, built up animosity, it's because I didn't take the time to connect with people that are either working as entrepreneurs, funding projects, or folks that have taken a step clear outside of traditional healthcare. So without the steps that we talk about in the guide, you will continue to be stuck doing something you hate. You won't know how to get your foot in the door. You know, half the battle is knowing who to start with and where to start. Again, in this career guide and impact happiness playbook, we not only give you real connections, real people, but where to start. You know, is it SWOT analysis? Is it a business plan? Does that even matter? Real connections, real people, real playbook on where to start your entrepreneurship journey. And again, where you will fall short without the guide, and that is not understand salary or not how to start down the funding path. We've had folks that have started their own company, then invested in, and later found out that they were lowballed on the salary range, working as a CGO for a company that they had given part of their ownership in and was not getting the allocate salary to keep them motivated and engaged to take that company to the next level. And again, knowing what number sounds good and what number is truly what that company is worth. All these things and more are touched on here. Moving on to the third bucket, probably the most important that does not get enough attention, and that is guiding principles, real stories around folks that have climbed the ladder, fallen off the ladder, threw away the ladder and went to build something else in a completely different arena, found happiness through travel, through friends and real connections. So think through this, right? Now, I know that many of you showed up today because you want something new, a new career, a new network. You're likely, doing something right now that is bringing you joy and along the right path, but not really sure where to go from here. I'll tell you, sometimes it helps to hear real stories. Jess, who is a registered nurse, Pro Bowl cheerleader, just take some time to read this true testimony, and there are plenty more where that came from. As you think about where you are now and where you want to be, know that the community you surround yourself with is more important than probably anything. I think you'll find that as a friend or official member of the Advancement League through our guides and through many more. And really the highlights here were that career and passion come together. And many people do not take time to reflect on that and to challenge the current status quo. I get questions all the time. Oh my God, I just started this venture. What can I expect from my employer? My day job that I love, this other thing brings me a lot of joy. And I always say that if there is a conflict outside of a annual conflict of interest survey, then you're probably with the wrong employer. World is changing. We've all heard of the Great Resignation, so it is important that we can truly give a testimonial as such. And again, the last part in bold there, in order to be the best, you have to be your best. The Advancement League surrounds you with supporters to make that happen. When you know better, you do better. And we like to think that we surround ourselves around the best. Alex, Andrea, is our Chief Impact Officer, but a leader at Sutter Health. Myself, Cachet, who left Cleveland Clinic and is now with a startup and has worked with many startups. Deontay, who was with GE, traditional leader, and is now with, again, an amazing large startup-like company with BetterUp. Dr. Alicia Jackson, who is a leader in equity and community with Common Spirits, one of our physician advisors. Dr. Michael Sook, or as I like to describe him as Batman, restaurant owner, White House fellow, promoter of the great outdoors, Musculoskeletal Institute leader with Geisinger. Brenda Schmidt, who's raised a ton of funds, who knows entrepreneurship, knows startups. And then Dr. Brooke Buckley, who's a chief medical officer within Henry Ford as well, and is our physician advisor. So when you talk about thinking outside of the box and challenging the status quo, you have to surround yourself around the right people and be a part of the right communities. That being said, as you really reflect and think about clicking or reading up on the guide or becoming a member, know that we have been noted as having the #1 healthcare resources, more that, our career connections, our impact, and our dream jobs are really things that speak for themselves. And that is just from a plethora of testimonials that you can find on our website and things of that nature. So with that being said, please, and you'll notice that you don't see a date because it's going to be open-ended. I'm going to leave this up for some time. 15% off just for listening to this webinar. If you stuck around this long, you deserve it. So this is going to be an open-ended, probably a deal that lasts a while. Use this code webinar to get 15% off membership or the career guide. Listen to me talk this long, you deserve it. Again, #1 guide for healthcare impact and career happiness as a little reminder. And with that being said, membership, you see it on the website, but wanted to highlight it here. Again, you get free resources, right? So instead of paying $40, $50 for the guide, you get it free as a member and many more to come. Negotiation, how to go from the various series of funding, how to go from director to VP, how to truly ask for that high six-figure salary, even after leaving your fellowship. We're really going to dive into a lot of things. How to appropriately use your company card and not leave dollars on the table. What's asking for too much and what's asking for too little. So many more resources to come. Young Calculator Summit discounts. Plenty of MBA and certificate discounts through our partners with a plethora of others that lead in the education field like GHGE and others. Our career concierge, we have a team that is available to answer questions and connect you with the right people. All of those things have a total value of up to $400. But again, 15% off for you today. We pride ourselves on two things, and that is foundation of career and community. We have many guides that touch on career impact More than that, another hidden gem joining as a member is that you get to be a part of teams, multidisciplinary teams that are raising funds and giving funds to tackle true social determinants of health, healthy food, housing, happiness. So if you can't click it, you can definitely learn more at www.advancementleague.org. Peruse the website. Feel free to reach out to me. This has been an amazing time with you all. 20-minute quick webinar. So much more to dive into, but we'll see you on the other side as members.